everyone, I'm Allie Buckman with the Potomac Bead Company, and today I'm going to show you some different techniques while working and making this Wallflowers bracelet design. So I have a couple different versions in this little base piece that was my tester that I'll go over with you guys, but I'm going to keep it nice and simple and go through and keep that RounDuo in the middle focused. In this Wallflower video, you will be working with StormDuo beads, which is our new 2-hole bead. You'll be working with RounDuo, which was our first 2-hole bead, which is really, really versatile. And then also a bead that you may not recognize or may not know, which is the Miyuki rectangle. So it's a longer version basically of the Tila bead, but instead of having 2 holes, it just has one center hole running down the middle. This is actually the first time that I'll be using these in a video. I've had them sitting for a while, and I thought they were just begging to work with the StormDuo beads. You'll also be using the Miyuki spacers, and I have those in an 11-0. So I have 15-0 seed beads, 11-0 Miyuki spacer bead, RounDuo, StormDuo, and the rectangle. You'll also need a clasp to work with, and we'll be putting that on at the beginning, which means we're going to be working with 2 needles. You can use size 10 or size 12 needles as we go ahead and get started with this Wallflower bracelet. Remember, if you need any of the materials for the Wallflower bracelet, below the video, there's a published date that says when this video was produced, and below there's some more information for you to check out. There's links there to the different materials that are used in this Wallflower bracelet, and you can check those out at PotomacBeads.com and PotomacBeads.eu. We'd be happy to ship you all the materials that you need to get your creative juices flowing for this Wallflower bracelet and projects in the future. So to start out this project, I have my thread burner or my thread zap, and I have 0.006 wildfire beading thread in the green color. I'm going to burn that off the spool, and then what I'm going to do is pick up some pliers. These are wide jaw flat nose pliers, and they're the sparkle tool set from Beadalon in case you want to know which ones they are. And what I'm doing is flattening out the ends of my thread. As I do this, it will flatten out the ends just enough that you can actually go in then and thread your needle. It's going to make it easier to thread that needle because you can see that down-sided pinched thread. If you learn nothing more from this video, that is going to be the most useful tool that you have. I also keep all of my needles in one of my old beading storage containers. It's one of the reasons we provide you with tube is so that you have an easy way to access and to keep your beads together. On either side of the thread, you want to go ahead and add one of your needles. Again, these are size 10 pony needles, which are an English style beading needle, meaning that the hole of, or the eye of the needle is no bigger than the actual needle itself. So you can see how easy those were to actually thread. I hardly ever thread them on screen, so I thought I would do it for you. When you're working with 2 needles, one of the advantages is that you can put on your clasp right away. One of the disadvantages, you have 2 needles. You kind of have to get used to being ambidextrous. I have my cup button there. The cup button is going to be in that nice copper color as well. I'm going to dump out some of my 15-0 seed beads here along the side. I've chosen the blue color to highlight the nice khaki iris color of the actual rectangle bead. I'm going to add to either needle, right or left, doesn't matter which one, 3 15-0 seed beads. From there, we're going to pick up our cup button, and I want one needle going through the cup button that is going to go through the right-hand side, and the other needle that is going to go through the left-hand side. Pulling those down to the very bottom, you're just going to see that nice little blue color in the middle. It'll stick up almost like a picot trim as you're working with it. Because this project is just going down one direction and we're not coming back, I'm going to reinforce the actual button and thread going through the button right now. To do so, take your thread and needle that's on the right hand side, go up through the button on the left, through those beads if you want, or you can just go right below them. You won't see it, it's up to you. I'm actually going to go below them. I'm going down the other side. What this does was put another piece of thread basically through those holes of the buttons. You're going to see a little bit of thread in the back. By the time we get into the design, you will not see that at all. If you want to, you can even do that a 3rd time. That's up to you. From here, we're going to take our needles, both our right and our left, and separate them out. Everything that we're going to do with the right needle, we are also going to do with the left needle. Most of the time when working with two needles, you're going to be doing a mirror image on the opposite side. The first thing we're going to actually do is start out with our RounDuo bead to keep it simple. To get to the RounDuo bead, I want you to add 3 15s on both the right and the left needle. Place a RounDuo, and if you're not familiar with a RounDuo, it's a 5mm 2-hole round bead. So you're going to put one needle through the right hand hole and one needle through the left hand hole. It's rounded on both sides, so it doesn't matter which one you actually grab. That's going to be the look at the end then, just that nice simple effect. If you want to reinforce the clasp one more time, you can take one of those needles and backtrack through and reinforce that one more time. Coming out the RounDuo then, we're going to get ready to start with our StormDuo beads. I went back and forth adding extra beads in between the StormDuo and the RounDuo and settled on that I liked when it was actually right up next to the actual RounDuo bead. So we're going to begin with this Soundgarden bracelet with our StormDuo beads right next to that RounDuo bead. To pick up our beads, we are going to be picking up the StormDuo through what I call the bigger side. Rather than the curved side, we're going to go on the outside of the curve, on the thicker side, coming out the thinner side. From there, I want you to grab your spacer bead, and then you're going to put on another StormDuo bead, which we're going to put through the thinner side. They're going to face one another. Put down that needle on the right, which is now on the left-hand side, and pick up the left needle. That's going to go through those same beads, so we're crisscrossing through them, threads going in either direction, and we're going to pull that down. With this first bead, it's going to be important that as you pull these down, that you have the same amount of thread on either side of your needle. So you can see those almost little bunny ears there. From here, these beads are going to lay out even more as we continue to work with them. On the outside, our magic number is going to be 4. When I'm coming out the side of the StormDuo, pick up 4 beads, and I want you to sew from the bottom hole going towards the outside of the bracelet through the top hole towards the inside of the bracelet. And you can see those 4 beads in my Nile blue color are just going to kind of sit on the outer edge. A lot of times, instead of working with my left hand and beading with my left hand, I will flip the project in my hands so that now I'm working again with the right side, but this time with the opposite needle. Again, anything we do with one side, we're going to duplicate with the other side. When we have our StormDuos on and we're coming out to the second hole of the StormDuo, we're going to get ready to add our rectangles. The rectangles are a little funky to work with because they want to flip on their side. The way that I designed it was that they would sit nice and close together and that they wouldn't have that flipping effect. So we don't have that flipping effect, again, making sure the needles are separate, you're going to pick up 1 15-0, 1 spacer, 1 rectangle, 1 spacer. That's with my right needle. With my left needle, I'm going to pick up 1 15, and you can see I'm holding it in my hand as I work with it, and then sew through that same spacer, rectangle, spacer bead, coming out the opposite direction. So just like our StormDuo first hole, these rectangles are going to have that bead right there in the middle, that nice version of the spacer bead. So as I was saying, you can actually substitute these for the demi rounds if you like some of the colors in the demi rounds better, that the spacers or the demi rounds are going to basically function the exact same way. To continue from here, we're going to be working from the bottom hole basically of the StormDuo and then coming up to the top. Coming out the actual rectangle, we'll kind of get our needles situated here, pulling it away. I'm going to pick up 1 15-0, and then I'm going to pick up my StormDuo. I'm going to pick up the StormDuo through that thicker side. Add 4 15s, because remember that's our magic number, is that number 4. And then we're going to take the needle from that bottom hole of the StormDuo to the top hole. Give it a nice tight yank, and just let that sit out there for now. Either flipping in your hand or using your left hand, do the same thing. So I'm going to do the same thing here, adding 1 15, then my StormDuo through the bigger side, coming up through the arch. 4 beads go on, let that drop down, and then through that top of the StormDuo. So basically we're doing the exact same steps, just in a reverse order. That's going to then pull those beads in right next to each other, and you can see that effect. And what I'm going to do now is crisscross through one of the spacer beads. Again, there is a little bit of extra space on the spacer beads, and I like that. I like how you see it. You can, if you don't want to use the spacer beads, use two 15-0 seed beads in place. But I have my spacer bead on the thread that's on my right hand side, and I'm going to then go through that top pole of the StormDuo on the left, the thread that's coming out in the middle on the left, put that through the StormDuo bead, through the spacer bead, and then through the StormDuo. Give a nice tight pull and kind of push them in place. When you're done and you're at this step that we're basically going to start over, you can see here at the bottom that that 15-0 seed bead is not sitting in the place that I want it to be. Make sure to move that over so that it is in place, and then give a nice tight yank on either one of your threads. From here now we get to start over. So we're starting the exact same thing over. With our start is going to be our RounDuo bead. So again, that RounDuo is going to go on with the left needle, going through the left side, and the right needle going through on the right hand side. Again, if you do want to decorate the sides of this, you're more than welcome to. That would be 4 seed beads if you would want to do that, and then circle around the RounDuo. I did that in this first version here. I also put a 15-0 before the StormDuo. Like I said, I liked that closer look for this Soundgarden bracelet, for the Wallflower bracelet here, that it is closer to those StormDuos. Coming out then, if you need to see those steps again, you're basically just going to repeat. So you're going to put on your StormDuo, and then your demi round, and then, or your spacer bead, and then your StormDuo, and go back through and keep creating. So what we're going to do is just keep adding, and I'm going to add a couple more of these segments and sections. So I'm looking at adding about 6 more of these segments, and I'll come back to you and I'll show you how you could enhance it if you want, and also how to do the loop for the clasp. As you come to the end of the design, and I have 7 of my little boxes here, of the Wallflower boxes, and as I have my 7 designs here, it's going to fit my wrist, but again, I have a smaller wrist, so you probably need, if you do have a standard side wrist, about 8, and if you have a larger wrist, you may need 9 if you're going in on there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make the loop for our button to sit inside of. So I'm going to be making that with my 15-0 seed beads, but I'm going to start with one of my spacer beads as my kind of clincher to bring them together. Because what I like to do is I like to create my loop so that way it has a starting point, that it's not actually starting off of a bead. So just like we did on the other side where I have the 3 beads before or after the button, before the clasp, I put 3 beads on both sides. And now I'm going to put one of my spacer beads on here with the needles going through in the same direction. That's going to bring that into just a simple V. And then we're going to pick up and reinforce by picking up it with our second strand as well. I'm going to pick up about 30 15-0 seed beads. You can switch this for a different size seed bead if you want. I just like to keep it simple that when I use a size for a project for you to make, that I don't like to mix in a lot of other sizes. Like I had said before, if you don't want to use the demi rounds or the spacer beads, you can actually just continue the design with 11-0 seed beads as a replacement for those 11-0 demis or spacer beads. So the difference in those, just to let you know, is that it's 2 different companies. One is Toho and one is Miyuki, and they're producing about the same style bead. As you get enough beads on to go around the cut button, and I always use this as an opportunity to kind of clean up my bead mat here. So I'm cleaning up, gathering up all the little beads kind of hanging out. That first strand that I went through is going to go back through that spacer bead and back through 3 of the seed beads and out. On the other side now, same deal. I'm reinforcing the clasp, so I'm going back through all of these seed beads that I just added. So you're going to take your thread and needle back through them all, through all those seed beads, through them all. And as we come down then, coming down the other side, and as I come down the other side after doing this, I'm going to make sure that my thread and needle, when they come out, are going to go down the 3 beads that are on the opposite side of the 3 that I went down previously with the first needle. After I go down those 3 beads, I'm going to have you give a nice tight pull to get rid of that extra thread that you may see. If you want to, you could also do a peyote stitch around the clasp. You can add a regular tube clasp or lobster clasp or toggle clasp, that's up to you. For the end then, because I'm using green thread, I'm going to bring the thread through the RounDuo and back up through the RounDuo again, just circling it around, because my idea is, or my goal is, to end the threads in the same place. So that way, the nice thing with working with 2 needles, I can take those threads and simply tie a knot. Right over left, switch it up, left over right, tie nice and tight. You can get rid of your threads then by sewing them back into the project, that's up to you. Or you can take your burner, which we used at the beginning, and just take it, leaving a tiny bit of a tail on each thread end, heating up your burner, and then burning those ends flush against the project. What that will do then is make a little ball on the end of each, so that way the knot is unlikely to come apart. If you want to, some people will still go in with the super new glue and actually glue the loop shut. That's kind of up to you, but it gives a nice closure then and a nice ending to this bracelet. Again, if you need any of the materials to do this Wallflower bracelet, back at the beginning, I listed off kind of the materials that you would need, as well as the links below that you can shop with us online. As always, if you like this YouTube video, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel to get regular updates from me when we do different videos and we have things that you should know. You can also give us a little thumbs up. That helps us to know exactly which kind of videos you guys want to see, what you enjoy learning, as well as giving us ideas too for future ways to educate you guys and to expand this beading community. As always, you can join our beading group for beading and jewelry making, and there's a great interactive group. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, as well as Pinterest, and all those good places online. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have fun playing with some of these newer beads, making this fun Wallflower bracelet.